Next up, we have Matt Fenlon. Matt's the owner of Jammy Apps, a mobile software development company started after leaving his corporate job in the UK car industry. Recently, he swapped wheels for wings as a private pilot. He's going to tell us why he likes flying little planes for fun.
Hello. Thank you very much. Go Maestro. Right, hi, I'm Matt. I'm going to talk to you about why I like flying planes for a hobby, and kind of why I think you should too, and why you should take opportunity too if you are at all able to. Flying a plane is something that's always been something that's really sort of appealed to me since I was like a little kid. So I was going to figure out a way that would be, I was trying to figure out a framework on how to talk about this. So I decided to pick human factors, which is something that the ICAO, which is a big aviation organization, uses to categorize the type of factors that affect a pilot when they're doing their thing. These are the factors. There's 12 of them there. You can read all about them in this TP14175E, blah, 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 which of course you'll do. But then I realized, hang on, I've got to talk for 5 minutes. There's no way I can talk about 12 things in the space of 5 minutes in any sort of detail. So I decided, screw that idea. We've got some sort of theme, which is to do with human or not human. So that was why I was going with the human factors thing. I decided to throw that out the window. I've instead picked sort of 7-ish. And if that man is in the corner, it means it's related to human factors. If he's not there, that means it's not. And I figured it'd be boring if you listen to it otherwise. Right, this is going fast. Right, so this is the complete achievement of humanity to date, way back from 200,000 years ago to way up there. And if you look on the right, there's a little happy guy. 113 and a half years is how long we as a human species have been able to fly heavier than aircraft above the ground. So this is one of the big deals for me. Like, you consider all the people that have possibly lived, how many of us are actually able to do this is extremely, extremely small. So that's one of the main reasons why I fly, is because, well, you can, so why wouldn't you? So lack of awareness is one of these human factors that they use to help pilots assess, what they are or are not able to do whilst they're flying. One of my things was that I wasn't aware how possible it was to fly a private plane as an individual. Another thing, right, this is moving way faster than in rehearsal. It's not, but it feels like it is. Complacency. Don't be complacent. Mountains are pretty, but they'll kill you too, so don't be complacent when you're in a plane, because that's not a good idea. So it teaches you not to be complacent. Lack of resources. This is another thing. I always assumed that it was like a rich man's game, that you need shitload, excuse the language, a large amount of money in order to fly an aeroplane. I realized that that's not as much the case as I thought, because the next slide is going to give you a little bit of a demonstration. This is a Toyota Corolla. It's not an aeroplane. You don't need a pilot's license to control one of these. That is how much one costs on the road, according to Toyota's website that I had a look at briefly before I put this together. So that seems like, okay, not a huge amount of money, but, flying a plane is going to be more than that, right? No, cheaper. So you can learn to fly one of these things and go up to Bella Coola, where this was taken. You hire the plane for $150 an hour, but actually to learn the thing and to get a license forever costs less than a Toyota Corolla. So why would you do that? I'd rather do that than have a Toyota. Anyway, lack of knowledge is another thing. So this is me doing some night training with a fancy video to take your mind off the fact that I'm rambling. This is me being in the dark about knowledge that I have. Being a pilot always forces you to learn new stuff. You need to learn new stuff all the time. I know these are up for 2 lots, so I'm all right. So let's move on to this one, because I've forgotten my train of thought there. Right. This is one of the things that we as pilots use in order to assess our own sort of capability, and it's something that I've used increasingly in order to understand my own personal state and to make sure that I'm sort of aware of my own capabilities, I guess. This is all going to meld together because I want to talk about the I'm safe thing. Meditation is something that everybody uses these days because it's trendy and cool, right? Breathe in, breathe out, do all that sort of stuff. So the I'm safe idea is that you look at various factors and consider whether or not you are being affected in some way that you're not 100% sure about and whether you're safe to fly an airplane. So that's a big deal for me. If you're aware of yourself as an individual, you can fly a plane and you get that kick out of it. Skip forward to goals. So this is something that I came up with when I was stressed out in a job in England. I was like, what is the most random thing I'd like to do? I want to fly float planes in British Columbia. Of course, like everyone in the Midlands of England does. Right. So I did sort of get my goal on track, and that's the thing I'm going to be flying later on this month. So why do I fly? There's a nice little Leonardo da Vinci quote down there. Effectively, it's because of the freedom that it gives me and the fact that it's a privilege that very few people are able to do, but I think it's a more achievable goal than a lot of people think. And it's a complete privilege. You can go up and enjoy scenery like this at any point, and it's literally just like an hour or two flying north. You can see stuff like this. You don't have to go to the Himalayas. You don't have to go to the Alps. This is all on your doorstep, less than an hour away if you fly up in a little Cessna. And if that hasn't convinced you that you need to get a pilot's license, I point you to the 50 minutes factor up there. You can be in Tofino, 50 minutes away from downtown Victoria, any day of the week. Who wouldn't want that? So that's it. End of my rambling. Thank you for listening.